cheating neighbor gets silly, picks fight, gets marriage ruined in the process. This happened a few years ago, back when I was in high school. I told some of my friends about it and they said I should post it here. Sorry about the formatting, phones suck. A few years back this guy moved into a duplex next door to my family with his wife and 2 kids. His wife was a quiet, well-mannered woman and their 2 kids were super sweet. This guy, however, was an alcoholic dirtbag who made it a point of being an obnoxious, rude butthead. Over the course of the few years he lived in our neighborhood he bought, and subsequently neglected, a dog until it was peacefully deleted of exposure, regularly did business with addicts out of his home. 2 of his clients got arrested outside his home for possession of meth and for child neglect because their young son was left buried under a pile of clothes and trash, and on multiple occasions he would get trashed and bring home women while his wife and kids were visiting relatives in Texas. Eventually his alcoholism started to spiral out of control and he started getting into more and more shouting matches with his wife. My family would stay out of it and actively avoid interfering. There was never any physical violence and we learned from his wife that when other people got involved he would get even worse. For the sake of her and the kids' well-being we left them alone. There were still instances, however, where we would get pulled into things. This epic bit of revenge came as a result of one such instance. My parents, 2 brothers, and I had just gotten back from a family gathering, and we were pretty drained from dealing with relatives all day. We pulled in and started unloading all the food from the back of the car when the neighbor's wife and the kids came outside. We thought nothing of it until the dickbag neighbor came screeching out the front door hurling mistreatment at his wife and barely able to string coherent sentences together while in his silly rage. His wife, not wanting to alarm the neighborhood, asks him to stop yelling because the neighbors, my family, were outside. In his stupor he came to the conclusion that because this fight was happening on his property it was illegal for us to listen to it. He turns and starts screaming at my father and calling him fat ass and other terrible names. He then proceeded to walk to the edge of the property line and threatened to kick my dad's butt. To paint you a picture of my dad, he is about 280 pounds of pure duck-you, and doesn't put up with people treating him like poop. My dad gave his concealed handgun to my mom, calmly walked out to the property line and looked the neighbor dead in the eye. He then gave the neighbor a choice. Walk away or to persist and face the consequences of his actions. The neighbor, being a silly shit biscuit, decided to scream at my father, saying dumb shit like "hit me you fat bastard and I will duck you up." Taking that as the answer, my dad looked over at the neighbor's mortified wife and said, "I'm sorry you have to find out this way, but he has been cheating on you." She starts to cry and the neighbor somehow turns redder than he had been mere moments before. His wife quickly put the traumatized children in the car and sped off, all while her husband begged her to let him explain. After she drove off he went inside and we don't hear a peep out of him the rest of the night. In the months following this incident we only saw his wife there a couple of times. In the end she left his butt with most of what he owned, including his SUV that he was super proud of. That is all there was to it, and the moral of the story is don't talk poop to your neighbors or they will ruin your marriage. Hope you all enjoyed. Hi guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Well, he did ask for it. He said hit me. Your dad just hit him where it counts, maximum damage. Please tell us more. Updates. 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 A few days after his wife left he had one of the women he was cheating with come over and he started to see her regularly. I don't know if she was aware of any of this, but the whole situation was awful. Didn't help that the woman he was sleeping with was a good 10 years younger than him. He was probably in his late 30s. Your dad strikes me as a very well-thinking individual. Yeah, he is a pretty good guy in these kinds of situations. He spent most of his life resolving conflicts like this one. Dirtbag neighbor did a fine job of destroying his marriage all by himself, but it's great that your dad could help push the wife over the edge of leaving his sorry butt. Why did your dad bring a gun to a family gathering? My grandfather is a veteran and they usually talk guns at the gatherings.